So you found a product and it looks great. Now, how do you actually calculate your exact profit margin to make sure you're actually going to be putting money in your pocket when you start getting sales? I'm gonna show you exactly how. Let's go. Hello, my name is Karina. Welcome back to my Amazon FBA channel, and today we are calculating profit margins. So many people come to me and they find a product, but they don't actually know how to check for sure if they're going to be making actual money from the product and what is actually a good profit to put in your pocket. What's a good percentage? What's a good dollar amount? All of the above. I'm going to be diving in right now into my computer and showing you exactly how to find out if you're gonna make money. Okay, so let's get into Amazon. I'm going to pick a product and then we're going to determine its profitability. I'm going to do a baby holder, whatever that is. Let's just go for one of these. So how do you determine profitability? Say we examine this market and it's a great market and you think you can launch this product and do really, really well. But are we actually going to be making a profit off of this? Now let's determine this. What you're going to be using, and this is a relatively simple process to do as well, but you just have to make sure that you actually do it and don't skip out on this. So you're gonna wanna go into FBA revenue calculator, literally put that into Google. It's gonna show up here. What you're gonna wanna do next is pick a product. Say you are sourcing, you've decided that you're going to source something like this. So pick something as close as possible to your actual product. If it's like a bundle, pick something that's similar and then just copy the ASIN right here, which is the number that starts with B0. And we're going to put this into the Amazon FBA calculator and search it. So it shows us this exact product. And now what this is going to help us do is determine the package dimensions and the unit weight, which is going to determine what Amazon's like packing fees is to actually ship this out to the customer. So we're gonna use this as an example. So they are selling it for around $36. So let's put that in. Let's do like $35.99. Let's check actually the entire market for how much it's selling. So it looks like people are selling it for around, well, this one's expensive. I don't think that one's it though. But it looks like it's around like the $35 mark, except for when we're getting into these like expensive ones. Some are even quite expensive. So we'll just leave it at $35.99. Now, how do we know how much it is to ship to Amazon? How do we know the cost of product? The thing is, you don't really know this 100% until you actually start talking to your supplier. And what I mean by that is, if you go to Alibaba right now and you type in, and you type in baby holder, we're going to see a lot of the similar products. So let's find one as similar as possible to ours. For the sake of this video, of course you're going to have to like do some digging, but let's pretend this one is it. Okay, so it gives you several prices here, right? We have $13, $12.50, $12, $11.50, and they might be accurate, but they actually might not be accurate. When you actually start talking to them, that's how you find out the actual price. And that's why you can kind of ballpark range your profit margin, but you won't really know until you not only get the MOQ quotes, but you also have to get the shipping quotes. So you can use this as a rough estimate, but you won't actually know until you talk to them. So just to be on the safe side, let's use something around $13. Hopefully you can negotiate that lower. We don't even know if this is going to be the actual thing. So right here where it says cost of product, that's going to be $13. And then ship to Amazon, again, you don't fully know this until you talk to either your supplier, if you're using them for shipping, or if you have your own freight forwarders that you are using for shipping, then you can talk to them. And this also varies if you decide to do air shipping or if you decide to do sea shipping. Obviously, sea shipping is much, much less expensive, but it does take like 3 to 4 times longer. So this is all based on personal preference and whether or not you're actually going to have a profit. So a safe bet to do is like do half of this. So let's just do like $6. That's close enough, maybe $6.50. It's probably less than that, hopefully, but again, you never know. Just half the product just to get a rough estimate. So right now we have a profit of $5.29 at a 14.70% profit margin. Now I am hoping that this is probably most likely going to be much higher profit. I do not think honestly that this cost of product is $13. It might be $10, and shipping I would assume maybe $5. So you're already adding that up. But let's just go for the sake of these numbers. Would this actually be a good profit margin? Keep in mind the average Amazon profit margin after all expenses taken out, and I mean cost of goods, any fees, any shipping, all of that, and even PPC, is about 20%. And that is on average. That is the amount that you're putting in your pocket, right? So 20% is a healthy profit margin after pay-per-click. Now, that does not mean that if this says 20 here, that's good, because keep in mind you are not factoring in PPC into this. This is just for the fees to be subtracted from Amazon. So right here you see selling on Amazon fees, right? So it gives you a little breakdown. So you are paying $5.40, and where this number comes from, it's a percentage of your sale price. So depending on the category, it's going to be anywhere from 15 to 20% of your sale price. So this is going to fluctuate when you actually change your item price. And then we go right here to fulfillment by Amazon fees. This is the part where Amazon actually takes the fee because they ship and pack and pack and ship your product off to the customer. So obviously that costs money. And this number is literally based on weight and dimensions of your product. So the heavier and the wider it is, the more expensive. And we're really just trying to get this number. And that's why this is helping us right here, because it's telling us the package dimensions and it's telling us the weight, and it automatically estimates. That's why when we try to do this estimate right here, we're trying to pick a product that's as close as possible to the product we are launching. So we make sure that we don't make any mistakes here. So when it's actually in the warehouse, we know that, hey, it's actually profitable and we are good to go. So another thing I want to mention is to get back to these numbers. So what's an actual good profit margin? 14.70%. That might not seem like a high profit margin. I typically like to have the net margin be around 30%. However, again, this is really relative to the product and the market, because say it's at 14% like it is here, but the net profit is actually $5. Now that's not too terrible, but say the margin is like 30%, but the profit is $3 because it's a very cheap item and it's cheap price, then that might not be so good. Maybe you don't want to be profiting $2 to $3, because keep in mind that a portion of this net profit, the whole thing isn't going directly to your pocket. A portion of it is actually going into advertising and pay-per-click, but that actually drives more sales and gets you more money. So, you know, that's like you're spending money to make money. But again, you want to give yourself enough dollar amount here to give yourself room to experiment. I personally like to go for like a $7 profit. Again, do not like fully replicate this. Every market, every product is different. So if the product has like a $5 profit margin, but it sells really easily and the ad is really, really cheap for it, PPC costs are low, then you might be still profiting much more because you are getting more sales. You're getting more of those units flowing through. So this is not really set in stone. You just have to be more logical about it. And keep in mind that on average, like I said, it's 20%, and you have to spend some time to actually like spend this money on PPC and etc., etc. Now this, when I do this in the beginning, this just tells me that this could potentially be a product that I can move forward with, because I know based on these numbers, it's profitable. And even if I'm like, say you're going to negotiate with them and you get it down to $11, and then you do see shipping and it actually turns out to be $5, right? You can recalculate that, and now you have an $8 profit margin, right? Say you have a bundle or a premium product and you increase your price by $2 and or whatever. Now you have a $10 thing, right? But the net margin is still under 30%. So does that mean don't do it? Of course, do it, because you're pretty much getting $10.50 of profit, which is enough to kind of play around with PPC. So just take these numbers with a grain of salt. Just logically think about it. Like, if I reinvest this money into PPC, will I still have some left in my pocket so I can actually, you know, make money off of this? Or am I just doing all this work for nothing and just putting everything back into essentially the business and not getting anything in return? Because that's not fun either. You just want a healthy margin where you both use it to reinvest into the business to make more money, and then you also take a percentage for yourself, so of course you can keep the money. So that's the breakdown of all the fees, and this readjusts later when you actually get quotes from the suppliers. You're actually going to get quotes for the units, and then you're going to ask them for shipping quotes. And then once you have the updated information, you can retest this again, recalculate it. Hopefully you got your cost of product down. Hopefully you got a better shipping deal, and then hopefully your profit margin is higher. But that's the general structure of how to check for profitability. And I mean, I go into way more detail about this and the entire Amazon FBA model in my INTOAMILLI Amazon FBA course. It's linked down below if you want to do this as a business. It's amazing. I love this business model. I also have one-on-one coaching that is also linked down below. It's application only, and a Facebook group, of course, and an Instagram. It's all down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.